This is the Global Economic Commodities, Scrap Metal, and Recycling Report by BENLEE Roll-Off Trailers and Open-Top Scrap Gondola Trailers, February 17, 2020. To begin with, the coronavirus, per the U.S. Center for Disease Control, has now said it is likely to spread in the U.S. If that happens, N95 rated masks are recommended, as well as washing hands an awful lot. Note, China's manufacturing is now intertwined with the global economy. So China's factory shutdowns has now begun to disrupt global production. U.S. weekly steel production fell to 1.899 million tons on a continued slow growth economy. Oil rose to $52.05 a barrel on news of possible very deep production cuts by OPEC and Russia, and that Q1 demand could be down versus last year for the first time in 10 years due to the coronavirus. U.S. weekly oil production rose to 13 million barrels per day, matching the all-time record it hit a few weeks ago. Great economic news. Iron ore rose to $88.50 a ton as limited Chinese steel mills restarted after the long Lunar New Year holiday. Scrap steel #1 heavy melt price fell to $232.67 a gross ton on strong supply, and there's some upward pressure on prices as the slowing global economy continues. Hot rolled coil steel fell to $28.75 a hundred on slow demand and the continued slowing economy. Copper rose to $2.60 per pound on hopes the coronavirus was being contained, but it's not. Copper could fall before it gets higher. Aluminum rose to 78.2 cents per pound on the same hopes the coronavirus is being contained. Cardboard scrap OCC in the Southeast rose to $40 a ton despite the low demand, remaining near decade lows. December's Euro area, an area about the size of the U.S., had their industrial production fall 2.1%, the steepest contraction since February 2016. The coronavirus could make this worse due to less exports to China. January's U.S. inflation rose to 2.5%, the highest since October 2018. Gasoline jumped to 12.8% as food increased only 1.8%. Excluding food and energy, and that's called core inflation, prices rose 2.3%. January's federal budget deficit was an outrageous 32.6%, that's negative, versus a plus 8.7% last year. Spending was up a shocking 22% at the federal level, while receipts were only up 10%. Longer term, deficits will bring higher taxes and even lower growth, but it sure is easy to have a good economy when we're not paying our bills. Frankly, it's pretty simple math. February's U.S. consumer sentiment rose to 100.9, the highest since March 2018, with improving expectations, while the gauge for current expectations declined. Current personal finances showed large gains. U.S. unemployment claims rose to 205,000, but remain near 50-year lows as they have been falling now for 11 years. Great economic news. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average rose to 296 points to 29,398, and now the White House is rumored to be proposing tax cuts for individuals to invest in stocks, and that's going to support even more increases. We have now had 11 years of increases in the market. Israel's annual convention is coming up in April. We will be there along with all major suppliers in the industry. Register to learn the latest about products and services to make your recycling operations even safer and support profitable growth. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions, and we hope all have a safe and profitable week.